You said that the world or the surrounding environment is not ideal, and I guess that points to the idea that there's almost $400 billion in cash on hand, although Greg took some pains to show it's really more like $380 billion in cash on hand. Yeah. But there's a lot of cash on hand, and you're still active in managing the portfolio, too, and looking at stocks. You're looking around, and you don't see a lot that you want to invest in.
No. Well, then we don't do anything. I mean, we've been in up to 60 years I've been in the business. There's probably 5 of them have been really juicy, And I think it was Tom Watson Sr. of IBM that said, they asked him the reason why IBM had been so successful or something like that. And he said, I'm smart at spots, and I stay around those spots. And that's the whole thing. And IBM was in 3 different businesses, including time clocks and a couple of, and 2 of the 3 turned out to be no good. But so they just focused on the one.
What is it when you look around that it's just prices are too high at this point? I would imagine there are. Greg said this from the stage too. Yeah. There are businesses that you like, just not at these prices.
And I would say I understand fewer of the businesses as a percentage of the whole than I did 10 years ago. I have not learned new industries for some years, and so I don't kid myself on that. I'm not going to learn them. I'm not going to have an edge on, a whole bunch of younger people that have actually grown up with them, used the product, seen things, but well, as I mentioned, you don't have to understand too many if they're like Apple.
But looking around, let's just get some macro thoughts on this, because I don't know that this is something that Greg is going to comment on per se. Just looking at the macro stock market environment, what does this feel like to you? Does it feel expensive? Does it feel like there are opportunities in some places?
Well, it feels like, I've compared the markets to a church with a casino attached, and people can move between the church and casino, and I would say there are more people in the church and more people in the casino, but the casino's gotten very attractive to people. If you're buying one-day options or selling them, I mean, that's not investing, it's not speculating, it's gambling, just totally. There's nobody that can explain why they're buying an option for one day, unless they maybe the fellow that made the $400 and some $1,000 from knowing when we were going into Venezuela doing. But I mean, that's pretty, and the quantity of those things is just incredible. So we've never had people in a more gambling mood than now. But that doesn't mean that investing is terrible. It does mean that that prices for an awful lot of things will look very silly. I mean, they had a squeeze in Avis of all things. Well, Avis has been around for 50 years, but just this past week, and we have lots more regulation and everything now, but people spend their time figuring out how to get around the rules rather than follow the rules. That's just a challenge.
The type of investor you are, though, is you laid it out yourself. In the 60 years you've been doing this in the business, you've had maybe 5 juicy years. I guess that means you're always looking for the next juicy year. What do you think it would take to make a juicy year or a juicy opportunity for you?
It's a phone call, and in some cases, but we bought a business last year. It wasn't big enough to be meaningful, but we got a letter.
Bell Labs?
Yeah, Bell Labs. And sometimes there's more zeros attached to them than others, and we're big enough to handle anything, and we can make decisions faster than anybody, and our word is good.